like I said before, hi, everybody coming in. Anthony and I are going to go ahead and start our conversation, but please feel free to ask questions, and we'll do our best to read over the comments as we continue. So I just wanted to say, you know, with everything going on, it didn't surprise me that you were right there doing what you do best, which is showing up for us. And, you know, you started your live workouts 3 times a day. Like, what made you decide to do that? Because we know not all businesses have been that active.
No. I think that most of the people that know the fit room.
Yeah, you're perfect now.
Yeah,
you're
good.
Perfect now. Yeah.
Good, guys. So I think that most people that know the fit room and myself know that it's all about helping. I've always been personally obsessed with helping. And I know that if I go above and beyond for all of you guys, for all the reasons that I want to do it for, in helping, I know that people are going to be feeling better. People are going to be getting better. And there's so many benefits of being good to people, right?
Right.
And I believe that, you know, the more good you do, the more good you receive as well. So I just thought, let's go live. Let's do it 3 times a day, not 3 days a week. Let's do it. Right now we're on week 8, right? So we've been doing it 3. Yeah. I've had a couple classes I've canceled because of last minute emergencies, not major, but yeah, it's been amazing. I know everybody's enjoying it. So we're grateful that you guys are also enjoying it too.
Yeah. And I mean, for the most part, you know, people who aren't doing any Instagram lives, you know, they might not be able to appreciate how much effort is going in on your part. So I wanted to personally say thank you, because I know you're showing up, and a lot of people, what they've done is they've put their services out there, whether it's personal training, yoga teaching, and then what they've done is they've said, okay, now, you know, I'm talking specifically with the quarantine, they've dropped the classes and they're charging people. And so someone reached out to me and said, you know, I love what you're doing with yoga, but, you know, people are starting to ask for money. And right now, you know, people are living on very tight budgets. Yeah. So I know you haven't done that. So it just goes to show how authentic you are and how supportive and patient you are. And, you know, we can choose to have responded differently, but we haven't done that.
100%.
Yeah, and you're great at that.
And I thank you for the kind words. And I see a lot of people putting a lot of support there as well. So again, we're doing our best, right, to help everybody out. Like I said, we're on week 8 now. I honestly thought we'd be back to normal by April 6th. And if we're back to normal by July 1st, I would be somewhat surprised. I know that's almost 2 months away, right? So with that said, thank you for the kind words, guys, Michaela and everybody down there. Yeah, we're just trying to do our part right now, give back as much as we can. And we have a lot of other stuff coming that we want to bring to you guys, because we actually have decided to make this a long-term game thing as well, right? So yeah, right. Once we go back to the fit room, yeah, and a lot of people are giving that same response. We're going to be doing an online program, and whether you're a fit room member that wants to go what's called hybrid and have the online option as well, we're going to create it for everybody. Yeah. So it's going to be,
I'll be your first, I'll be your first customer.
There you go. Amazing. Thank you. So yeah, it's going to be really great, guys. We're looking forward to that. We have strength workouts. I'm giving you guys some sneak peeks that are coming out. We have Zoom coaching. We're going to be doing coaching in group settings and smaller settings as well. So there's a lot of great stuff. We also are going to be doing yoga. So I'll have to be talking to you about that very soon, actually, Michaela.
I'll be there for you.
Yeah, live and online as well. So with that said, guys, there's a lot of really cool stuff coming. So please stay tuned for that with the online stuff. Yeah, but thank you, everybody.
So this is the other thing I want to talk about. Where do you get all your energy from?
Good
Like, and
question.
it's not just energy, business mindset. It's like energy to serve. How can I serve better? How can I do more? Where do you think that comes from?
I think it comes from, you and I have talked about this before. It's the why, right? So I
Mm.
really am obsessed with my why. And I've been obsessed with this for a long time. And basically,
How
my
long?
why
How long? When did it start?
probably, so I've always had the passion to help. So, very quick story, music in my 20s.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wrote,
that's
yeah,
right.
I wrote, played, sang. I did all that stuff in my 20s because I love to entertain and affect people emotionally and all that kind of stuff. And then when I got into the health field 9 years ago now, 10 years ago, it's that same feeling. I get a rush off somebody saying to me, I got off cholesterol medications. I lost 11 pounds this month. I get pumped for that or for them, and it feeds my energy to say, okay, well, what can we do better? During this quarantine, I've used this as a huge opportunity to get better as a coach. And we have some amazing stuff with the team. I've been working on some crazy stuff, guys, that you guys are going to love when we get back. So I feed off the energy of the crowd, and we have an amazing Fit Room family, from our actual clients that are inside the gym to people like you, Michaela, that have been part of the family in like directly and still support us.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's just the energy
So,
from everybody.
and I really think that your business, which I wanted to know how you got there, but I really think that your business model, specifically your philosophy, really has transformed the platform of staying fit and healthy. And one of the reasons why it's so successful, if I can tell you why I think it's so successful,
Absolutely.
is because you've created a community. So most people aren't getting that, right? From going to a large gym. They'll say,
Mhm.
okay, I have some goals. I want to get fit. I want to get healthy. I want to start eating better. And then they get, this membership at, an inexpensive rate. They think they're getting a deal. And the issue is there's no follow through. There's no accountability. There's no community. So, you know, mostly with success, we're looking for those things, right? To be successful with weight loss, to be successful with getting fit, getting healthy. And so I remember, I've been working out since I was, honestly, I think since I could walk. I
Yeah.
was very, very active as a kid and probably one of the first in high school to start working out of my peers. And anyways, I remember when I was invited by Lee and a few of my other friends, Tanya, to come try out your program. I was really excited. And I remember after the first class thinking, literally, I've never worked this hard. I never knew what I was made of.
Amazing.
And if I didn't have that sense of community with the girls and with you, if I didn't have that sense of connection I had with you, I don't think I would have continued. So I think that you're doing a great job with the Fit Room because you know every single person who walks through that door. You
And
make a
and
point of knowing
yeah.
them, and you also make a point of training all your trainers so that they're teaching your philosophy as well.
And 100%, like we pride ourselves on making sure we try to know everybody's name. Um, I've always been good at names. Obviously, um, it takes practice too to remember people's names. So we've had thousands of people walk to the gym. We have always 500 regular members, which is amazing. Luckily, we have great retention. So we have the same people. We've got like using Lee as the example. Lee's been at the Fit Room for 5 years now, almost, right?
Yeah.
So
You've
obviously,
got your hardcore, what I
yeah.
would call your hardcore members. And
For
then
sure.
you also have short-term programs like your 6-week
Yeah,
program, which is a great incentive too, right?
for sure.
Like we know people are more successful when they're working toward a goal.
Mhm.
So I thought maybe you could talk to me about how the fit room happened. Like, how did you know you wanted to be a personal trainer, and how did you know specifically that this was the kind of gym you wanted to build?
It happened through a process of just kind of self-awareness, insane. So again, my 20s, I was the opposite of like being in that. I started to get, so I grew up playing hockey. I played hockey competitive AAA. I played at St. Mike's, and
Wow,
I connected with
I didn't know
all
that.
my, I'm a St. Mike's guy. So I played on the St. Mike's teams and all that stuff. So yeah, it was great.
Okay,
But I
now I know
connected,
where your work ethic came from.
and to be honest, it's very true. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not going to give the whole private school speech though, but what they did teach there was discipline. That was in our motto: teach me discipline, knowledge, and goodness.
That's
That was
beautiful.
our core value at St. Mike's: discipline, knowledge, and oh shoot, I forgot to throw. I just said it too. But anyways, with that said, from there I met some great coaches, nutritionists, and I fell in love with the training part. And I trained pretty much a lot in my teens and my early 20s. And then I fell away from it and got into the music scene. But with that said, I got back into it in my mid 20s, late 20s, and I was training a bunch of my friends. And all of a sudden, I remember this was Good Life. We were training hardcore there, and I was creating the programs, and like, holy crap, these are amazing. I'm like, oh, thank you. So like, why don't you get into this? Because I didn't have a real career at that point.
Yeah.
So I decided to get into it from just one, or actually two friends saying, hey, this is amazing workouts. We're getting killer results. You should do something with this. So I did.
So
And
you
before you know
accept the
it,
call. You
I
accept the
accepted the
call.
call. I did. I stepped up and I did my schooling for about 3 years, including the nutrition and the 2 courses I did, which were awesome courses. And before you know it, I had a bunch of girlfriends, girlfriends and stuff. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, Anthony, do a workout program, do like a boot camp. Those are popular now. So 9 years ago, 9 years ago, last month, I started my first boot camp at a facility in Maple, and we just built, or I guess I just built a following, and to the point where luckily my fiance is very ambitious too, and I am too, and she encouraged me. It's like, I think the time now is to open up a studio, and
Yeah.
five
And I
years
think
later we've got
I came to your studio like only after 1 year that it
yeah.
opened. Yeah.
I think you were there technically in the first year, because
Yeah.
you and Carlo, I think, were OGs like 2016 if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah.
yeah, with that said, yeah, so here we are, 5 years, going on 5 years, and it's been awesome. We've definitely created a family, and you can see all the people commenting on that. So we're located in Richmond Hill. I just saw that question there.
Yeah.
Um,
I just answered it.
oh, you just responded. So, long-term goal is to expand to Maple, because I have a place being built in Maple right now. With that said, there's still
Wait. Second location?
multiple locations.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So,
That's
we
very
definitely want,
exciting.
yeah, we're trying to build something special, with the
Yeah.
family, again, we have a unique program, guys. I know Michaela's experienced it. There's a lot of people that haven't. Not only do we do your boot camp program and we care about the experience, we also have the strength room, right? That is where people's results have really been magnified, and you can really see the progress accelerated now, which is pretty great.
So I want to know a little bit about your philosophy
Mhm.
when it comes to diet, nutrition, and exercise.
Yeah. So that, I think, just like in life, guys, our philosophies change as we learn more and more, right? So, as a lot of people that know me here in the group, and I think Michaela, you know too, I read most of the day, like educating my
I'm
mind.
with you. I'm with
I
you,
know
buddy.
Yeah, so you're the same
Do you
as
have
me.
Audible?
I do. You know what? I used to love Audible.
Yeah,
Now I'm obsessed with the book. I'm obsessed with the paper to pen. Like
way
I've
to
been
go.
booked. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a way better way to learn, like retention for me as
yeah,
well. But Audible, has
Audible's
been
amazing
kind of, yeah, it's been my compromise because I have such limited time with the family.
for sure.
Um, so please go ahead.
Yeah.
So you
So
were talking about
my
philosophy.
philosophy changes, I think, time to time, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to, I really believe that hard work and consistency in anything you do, you have an outcome that is successful. And if you're consistent for a long enough time and following the fundamentals of any program, whether it is the Fit Room program, and I'll get to that in a sec, or another program that has sound science behind it, you're going to get a good result. So we really simplify things in nutrition. Every diet in the world follows one philosophy or one scientific expression in terms of weight loss or weight gain, and that's calories in, calories out. So we believe that food is information. We know
Which
that it,
didn't matter.
pardon?
I wish that didn't matter, but it does.
It does. Yeah. Food is information. So this is not a free pass to eat McDonald's breakfast or Dorito chips or Oreo cookies,
No.
but your calories in, calories out matter. Whether I'm not even going to start naming a bunch of diets, but we've talked about this in our nutrition programs, guys, and a lot of videos on this already with us, but every diet in the world follows that principle. Whether it's keto or fasting, it's still a caloric deficit. So we make it pretty simple now, and we're in this whole time, guys, we're creating a whole video library for you guys on nutrition. So stay tuned for that.
That's awesome.
In training, it's strength and conditioning. Conditioning's a fancy word for cardio, and that's why we created the strength room. I always wanted to be a strength and conditioning program, and truthfully, we are unique in the class-oriented world because no studios at our capacity have a leg press, a pull-up machine, a cable fly in one section, and then a bunch of cardio. We're actually going to be, again, I'm really revealing a lot of secrets here. We're getting some cardio
I
machines.
know.
Yeah,
All to my community, aren't they
there you
lucky?
go. Yeah, so we're getting some
You're
cardio
getting me
machines.
excited.
It's going to be very exciting. So we believe the combination of strength conditioning, aka cardio, and keeping track of caloric intake. So not obsessing about every macronutrient or every food choice, but being more conscious of your caloric intake. And lots of people have gotten great results by just doing that, and it's worked forever. I used to be all about you can't sway, but then you learn as you get older, you can't be 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And I really believe that it's better to be 85% perfect, not 100% perfect, all year round than to go 100%, then the next month it's 10%, and then you're doing the
Yeah.
roller coaster, right?
So
And yeah,
consistency is key with
that's
some wiggle room.
that's it. With a
Yeah,
little
I
bit of bigger
remember
room, yeah.
when I was doing your program, there was always room for a cheat meal.
Once a week can be whatever you want, and it works, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and don't get me wrong, I know that everybody's different, and that's why we created our plan that way, because what works for you, Michaela, may not work for me. So I know, I'm pretty sure Maria's in here.
Yeah.
So for example, she's talking to me about OMAD. That's one meal a day. That's a type of fasting that is extremely beneficial. We know fasting has a lot of not only health benefits, but even spiritual benefits. Number
So
two,
yeah,
sorry,
no, I want to tell you something about that, but I'll go, please finish and then I'll
just
mention
to finish,
something.
yeah. So you got OMAD, there's Maria. Then you've got the same, sorry, not the same person. You got a different person messaging me about 5 to 6 meals a day is working really well for him. So two very different ways of eating, but whatever fits your lifestyle and is going to work for you is what you do. So Adriana and I may be on different pages, my fiance. Carlo and you may be same house, but slightly different lifestyles in terms of what you eat and what you don't eat. So,
Well, you know, I went vegan 2 years ago,
yeah,
so I'm still learning
for sure.
what's good for me long term. So this is the other thing I want to say about diet, because you know I'm really interested in diet. I think the other thing is what's motivating people to choose the diet they want. So for some people, what's motivating them is, how am I going to burn the most calories? How am I going to, get rid of the most fat? And I think we have a culture that's very obsessed with that. Like with women, it's what's my number? How much body fat do I have? And unfortunately, we actually, when we talk about mindset, your number on your scale and your body fat is a huge indicator as to how you're feeling. So you know me very well. That's kind of never been my thing.
Never, yeah.
No, I mean, yes, healthy weight and
Of course.
healthy body fat is important, but sustaining low body fat for a long, long time, we know, is detrimental to a woman, specifically a woman's health. And for some men, it's shown to affect testosterone levels as well. So anyway, just to your point about fasting, there's a great doctor. His name is Dr. Walter Longo. And if you go to his website, he has an amazing amount of science-based information on how to eat and receive the benefits of fasting over long term. So this is about, nutrition shouldn't only be about weight loss, right? And a lot of these yo-yo diets affect our longevity. And so his research shows the best way to eat and implement fasting, and what his studies have shown, like whether a 12, 16, 18-hour fast, keto, all that stuff, and the role it's really playing in our overall health and well-being. Because that's a huge thing, especially for women my age, in our 40s, and how we want, the next half of our life to look like, right? So that's huge. So Dr. Walter Longo, and he has a lot of fasting ideas and kits, which I also think that you should think about.
I've actually heard of him. So I'm going to definitely check that out. I see someone also wrote it, Walter Longo.
Yeah, he's on the Goop series. He was featured on Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop series on Netflix. Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, I'll definitely check him out, because
because
education.
Listen, fasting truly is a wonderful way to reset our cells, cellular health, and immune system. So the benefits of fasting, 3 days or more, are tremendous. And there's so much being done in that area. So I'm a supporter of the benefits of fasting as well.
Same here. And, it's funny enough, and Maria, I know you're here. So I actually said to her, fasting's not about weight loss. Fasting's so much more than weight loss. Weight loss is just a benefit of fasting.
And fasting, right, and fasting long term isn't necessarily healthy. So that's why it's important to look at the research. It's better to approach a fast 3 or once a year, or 2 or 3 times a year, depending on if you have underlying health issues. And that's really, really helpful to the overall health and well-being. But it definitely does help you to clean housekeeping.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So you were saying, so your nutrition?
Well, I was just basically saying that our nutrition program gives people flexibility, because everybody's different. And we've got people doing fasting. We've got people eating 6 meals a day. Everybody's different. So you were right on the, nailing it with what you were saying in terms of everybody's looking for I don't think you said quick fix, But I think that people are looking for, well, what diet am I going to follow that's going to get me the quickest results? And that's where people start to yo-yo, and yo-yoing is terrible for our health. So
Yeah.
finding the lifestyle, finding what's going to work for you in the long term is super important. So that's kind of what we work on now, finding what people are going to be successful for, or successful
So,
on for the long term.
right. So how do you tell people that? How do you encourage people to think of their health over a long term versus a short term? So, like, here's the nutrition diet I'm offering you. Um, and when does someone know when to add more calories, or should they stay the same? How do you approach that? How do you
So,
keep people committed?
and that is the hardest thing. So, I think that most people know that when it comes to health and fitness and getting the best result for your health, in terms of obviously improving your health, your energy, and your weight and body fat levels, the nutrition aspect is the hardest. I think that we've been conditioned certain ways, and certain foods trigger us, certain stresses trigger us. Everybody has different vices. A lot of people go to foods, right? So a lot of times you have to get into the emotional and mental side more than anything else. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody that walks through the Fit Room's door, there's a reason you're coming through the door. And so we try to get to that answer without even you knowing that we're getting to that answer. So that's just something that I feel like I'm pretty good at. And it's a series of questions, and you can kind of get to why people are doing what they're doing. And then you have to coach them that way. And I'm telling you, so thousands of people that I've spoken to, everybody has their own version of why they're there. It's not like just two reasons to look better or to be healthy. Everybody has their own variation of why they're there. So you have to just work through that. And I really believe that that's more important than telling them what to eat. So we give everybody a plan with foods, with calorie counts, with proteins, and all that kind of stuff. But we show them how it can work for them. So once we release the program, we're like, okay, Michaela, well, what's going to make sense for you? 1 meal, 2 meals, 6 meals? Do you want to eat more protein? Do you want to have no carbs? What do you think is going to fit your lifestyle? And we work with the person, and that's the big part we're going to really get into in post-quarantine world, to really dissect with people, because that's important.
Yeah,
Everybody's different.
I used to think like the workout was the most important thing. And I remember saying, oh man, I thought working out like this was going to let me eat the way I wanted to eat. And I remember you saying, no, Michaela, it's 100% the food, it's 100% workout. There's
And
no in between.
100% mindset.
Mindset.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
when you were 20, you can eat what you want,
I
most
could.
people, and work out, and you're good. But
I could.
yeah,
Even my
hormones
30s.
change. And 30s, there you go. Hormones
Well,
start to change.
yeah,
Probably,
after age 35, things changed for me.
yeah. For most women, it's over 30. Once you hit
Yeah.
a certain age, and everybody's different, again, not to keep using that line, but it's true, you're going to have a different response. So I had a lot of the skinny people that all of a sudden, women and guys, my buddies too, that all of a sudden all those cheat meals they'd have every day started to backfire once they reached a certain age. So going back to the diet, we believe now at the Fit Room, that being too strict and telling people exactly what to eat doesn't work. I've had too many people pay me for nutrition coaching. I've had obviously great success with people. That's one thing, but too many people have wanted a customized nutrition program that told them what to eat, when to eat it, how much to drink to a T. It is so hard to follow after 4 to 6 weeks. So now we create that same idea, but we give you flexibility in your approach. And there's a lot of self-awareness that happens.
Yeah. And I think from your point of view, what's great is you have so many people coming through the door. Like, you're working in large numbers. So you can really start to see what works and what doesn't based on experimental research as well, right?
I do
Based
think,
on age,
yeah.
sex, the amount of exercise. And I remember, like, when I came and your workouts are very addictive. Like I'm talking, once you're in, you're like, and you can see what's happening to your body,
Yeah.
your mind. You're like, oh my God, I want to be here 6 days a week,
Yeah.
7 days a week. And I remember for me specifically, pushing that kind of workout every day didn't work for me. So,
Yeah.
and I remember you saying, like, 3 to 4 days a week is great. And I remember that I almost got better results with a
Rest.
few rest days or changing my workout. But definitely I loved the station changes, the weight training, all that. And it
Yep.
really does help to change your body
It
for sure
does.
in a good way.
For anybody that's here that's looking for a program, obviously we encourage the fit room. I'm not going to deny that, but as long as your program combines true
Keep
strength,
talking, Anthony.
yeah,
Keep talking.
yeah, as long as your program combining with conditioning, you're off to a good start. You don't just want to go for a bike ride, and you don't just want to go for a run. If that's all your program consists of, it's lacking, especially as we get older, guys. We need muscle mass. I'm not talking Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm talking about lean muscle mass that that will keep your metabolism, your bones and joints well. And on the other end, you don't just want to lift weights. You want to still condition the heart and improve your endurance. So that's what we really focus on at the Fit Room: strength room, boot camp room. Combine it a couple days, even 2 days each. You're awesome. We just had a
Yeah.
message. I just got a great message from a client of ours. Her husband and her train with us. Her brother in Dubai is doing our workouts. He's been doing them for the last 4 weeks. And
Yeah.
she's like, he just told me he lost 5 kilos
Oh
in
my
four
gosh.
weeks, right?
And this has been one of the gifts,
Yeah.
because would you have ever have gotten on the internet to do live workouts?
I've had the fit. You can ask from my first manager, who was Emily, to Rosanna, who's our manager now. I've been talking about the Fit Room online for a long time, but I didn't have to. I know this is an excuse. I always, when you say you don't have the time, but I didn't have the time to do it. And I'm like, this is the moment. Let's build it. We're creating our online program whenever we decide to release it, whether it's in June or July, that has everything we want to do, from the yoga to the coaching to the nutrition, everything. We're going to create an amazing online program. So,
Oh, I'm sure you will. And I just
yeah,
think that's one of the things we can at least be grateful for. Because even me, I would never have gotten on Facebook Live or thought about doing this. But
yeah,
for me, it was also really important to find a way to help people stay connected and to not feel isolated, which is one of the things we are kind of all experiencing on some level or not.
mm-hmm.
Um, I'd be lost without these workouts. I agree. They're so
They,
good.
yeah,
They're
they're
so good. And that's the thing. I might not look it, but I feel it. You know what I mean? Like we
for
might not
sure.
all look like that person that is portrayed, but it doesn't matter. When you do one of these workouts, you feel it. You feel stronger. And we only have a few more minutes, Anth, and I know
Yep,
you and I can talk forever. So we'll definitely do this again.
for sure.
But I know one of the other things you're most passionate about is, first let me say another reason why I think you are very successful and your program is great and you're growing and you are going to really reach new lengths. I know this for
Thank
you. I'm
you.
a big supporter. Is people need leadership, and they need to know that they are seen and they are heard. And I think that's something you do very, very good, is you help people feel seen and feel heard. And you do that in every area, and so I want you to talk a little bit about what you're most passionate about, which is mindset and helping people to build happiness, because I know that's
Yeah,
really important to you,
I
which you're doing.
I'm obsessed with happiness. and you know, I think a few people that have seen me on some of the lives with the coaches and the team as well, I'm so happy right now, even though all the stuff that I'm even though the fit room's closed and all this stuff, I'm legitimately happy because I'm like, look at the opportunity that we have now. I've
Right.
got people I've never met messaging us from France, Dubai, Texas, saying, oh my gosh, these workouts are amazing. Thank you for doing this. And it's like, I honestly, I get a rush from that feeling. And I like to see other people happy. So again, I hate speaking about myself in that kind of way, but I do always try to make people feel good. And I'm always honest. So it's never, obviously, it's always authentic, right? Because everybody has good in them. And I always try to bring it out in some way or just make people feel happy, right? So
Yeah.
with that said, I do think happiness, I've talked to you about this a few times via text, Michaela, but I think that you can't be healthy until you're happy. I understand healthy also is physical body, and we know that that's important, but you got to be happy. We know too many people with six packs that are very depressed, you know, and then you've got obviously the other way as well, but you've got to focus on happiness because when you're happy, you feel good and your energy, I think that's where you said my energy can be very high a lot of times. It's because I'm happy and I don't force it. I'm just like Adriana, if she's on here right now, she should be. She gets
Hi,
upset with
Adriana.
me. She's here. I saw her. She gets upset with me. She goes, "How come you can never get upset?" I'm like, I don't know. It's just I'm happy, right? Like I said, I read all the time. Look what I'm reading right now. I'm not an overly religious guy. I'm reading the Bible right now because
Way to go.
I want to learn, right? And then right below it, I've got another book, How to Be a Great Boss, right? So I think that reading and I think that focusing on happiness and perspective. So as a lot of people know, Adrienne and I are supposed to be getting married July
I know.
11th of this year. That's not going to happen. We've made a change. And I guess it's fair enough to say it since I've been revealing a lot of stuff. I was going to post it, but we are getting married May 7th, 2021 now. And
Wow.
yeah, so obviously with all that happened, we had to make that change, but I'm pumped for it. And
How's
Adrian,
Adriana doing?
you know what? She was obviously very distraught the first couple weeks, but I
Yeah.
think that her and I talking and just being positive about it, she's come such a long way. And I think she's starting to see, hey, you know what? Great. We can feel and look better by our wedding. Our condo will be ready by we're just conditioning ourselves to focus on happiness. And
Yeah.
that's the same message I give to all the clients. And I think that people know that it's all about just being
Right.
kind to each other. Kindness is great.
So, right. And I think that happiness is a choice. And so I know you say that it just comes naturally to you,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's something you've been working on. So positive people don't, they're not just positive, they work on seeing the positive in everything. So it doesn't surprise me for someone like you who's a business owner to say, you know what? This is the perfect time for me to get moving on projects I didn't have time for. Whereas other people who are wired for stress and loss and insecurity, which is all old brain function,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, tend to think of the worst, like all the money they're going to lose. How am I going to run my business? So I think too that you have a lot to teach about how to focus on the positive. So, for example, there's people dealing with diagnoses, right? Life threatening diseases, cancer, heart disease, diabetes. It's the same thing. Your mindset can be, oh my God, this is going to kill me. Or your mindset can be, you know what? What do I have to learn from this? What is my body trying to tell me? And how do I make this better? And so I think
Yep.
that because of the way our brain is wired, it is actually lower brain function to be wired for worry. And we're entering a time you know, that way of thinking isn't going to serve us well anymore, especially if you look at the outside world right now. So I always say to people, you know, our true home is in here and in here, right? And so we have the opportunity to say, this is what happiness looks like. And I always say, you know, happiness isn't something that means we can't feel other emotions like sadness, fear, or, you know, shame or guilt. Those are important too. They have something to teach us as well. So how do you deal with some negative emotions? Because we all have them.
Yeah. So
how do you shift your mindset from feeling angry or upset to being happy?
Great question. I first of all, I'm glad that you said that, that happiness is something that you need to work on. So you don't just wake up happy. You eventually wake up happy when you just continue to practice, and right. But
yeah, because you strengthen those, you actually strengthen those bonds in your brain. You create new higher brain function that wires you for positivity.
Yeah. So with that being said, it does take a lot of work and practice. And I saw a few people write the same thing. So you don't just wake up happy, but at the same time, you do have, I really do believe, as someone that's dealt with anxiety, and I've usually dealt with hypochondria, health anxiety more than anything, not like fear anxiety of like, I know everyone's got their own anxiety, but with that said, in terms of happiness, working on it's important. In terms of negative emotions, every single day we're bombarded with negative feelings. Whether it's, I don't watch the news. I refuse to watch the news because I stand guard of what goes in my mind. That's key. When my friends, my family, Adriana, even myself have a negative moment, I stand guard and I just don't let that get in my head. That doesn't mean I don't feel pain. I don't feel sad ever, because those, you need to feel both happiness and sadness to feel alive. It's the dichotomy of things, I believe. But
so you definitely mentioned a good point where you filter information coming in. So you are aware, you've created awareness as to the information coming in.
Yeah.
And then how do you, when you are feeling frustrated or angry or tired, how do you shift?
So I have a 1-page document. It's actually a page and a half. That is my affirmations, that has my why. And I literally keep that in my back pocket, literally.
You probably have it memorized.
I pretty much do. And it's something that I start my day. I call it my hour of power, though it only takes me like 15 minutes. So when I'm feeling that, guys, I literally read that. And I make it seem like I'm perfect in the mental part of things. I'm far from it. Every day I work on it because I know how important it is, right? So that's how I get out of there. Or I'll go listen to Gary Vee. I'll go listen to Tony Robbins. I'll go listen to Jim Rohn. I'll go read my book.
So this is it. You fill up.
Fill up. And
you fill up.
Yeah, that's it.
So the way we fill up our body with nourishing food, with rest, is the same way we need to fill up our mind, right? We fill up on positivity. We fill up on, positive words. Creating an affirmation for yourself is key. And I would love to see how you're going to add that.
I want to add that. I know not everybody's crazy. You mean bringing that into the fit room?
Yeah.
I do. I do want to bring that part into it because I believe it's so important. And so we want to have, we want to have the fit room, boot camp room, the strength room, the massage room, the rehab room, the nutrition room, and the mindset room, where we're going to talk about that stuff. So things that we're working on, that's where we're going to bring that stuff in, because I really believe it's important. Every day, starting your day. So if you watched Melissa and I 2 weeks ago, we talked about the mental part of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins and stuff. Yeah,
Good
it was
stuff.
definitely good stuff, but in routines, right? So I also think I think the worst way to start your day, and I'm bringing this up because I had this conversation with 3 people in the last 2 days. The worst thing to do, guys, when you start your day, if we're talking about mental health, is to wake up, yeah, grab your coffee, great. But then if you go sit in front of the TV for 1 hour and watch the news, or go on
Or grab your
Instagram
phone,
and do
fill
that
up
for an
on
hour,
social media.
you're starting your day on the wrong foot. I really believe obviously exercise would be great, but what I honestly do this, guys, I'll be open and honest. I read for 30 minutes. I do gratitude for 15 minutes in my journal, and I'll do some type of meditation, prayer, or breathing exercises. That's how I start every single day. And then I do cardio before I do my weight training in the afternoon.
So
And
I think you're starting to reveal how you have so much energy now.
maybe that's the better answers than what you were asking.
Yes.
So maybe that's what it is. Like, I don't know, but I know that this has become part of me in the last little bit. And the
Yeah.
things that I've battled with, because we all battle with things, those are starting to turn. And I'm like, this is the mind shift I needed. And that's just the truth, right? I really believe mindset is everything. Attitude is everything. That's even in our core values of the fit room, right? Client experience is number one. Positivity is number two. That's the two things we preach the most to our team that we're starting to get into. So makes sense, right?
Yeah. So I think that, it's important to highlight a few things that do work for you,
Mm-hmm.
so that other people can learn to implement them into their daily life, which is starting your day or ending your day is another way to really help to improve your energy, to help you stay consistent, and to help you change your mindset. So having a morning ritual or an evening ritual where you're filling up your mind, your
Mm-hmm.
mind with to help keep you grounded and to help keep you focused and moving forward. Also filtering out any negativity that you might be addicted to, because a lot of people, they don't recognize that negativity is a form of addiction. It really is. It feeds a part of our mind, and we have to be strong because we are wired for survival. It's part of our archaic behavior. So you do have to work hard to break that habit in the beginning. And usually they say, a new habit. What do they say, Anthony? 21 days?
They say 21 days, but a lot of the things I've been reading actually say 90 days to truly
Yeah,
change
I
a
believe
habit.
that.
And
And
but at
so,
21 is a good start to build
yeah,
a good habit. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And then the other part is I think you have very, very strong social connection. And I think that people underestimate the importance of sharing who they are with others and belonging to a community and having purpose. Like, what is your why? I
Mm-hmm.
think goes a really, really long way. And that's something you're very committed to. People keep showing up at the fit room because they feel like it is a family, you know
It is.
it, right.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. Everybody is trying to find a place where they can belong, because a lot of people are battling loneliness.
For sure. It's one of the
Yeah.
connection is one of the main big human traits that we have. And creating that was big, right? I knew that whatever I started in the type of boot camp program, the workouts itself, obviously important, but a lot of gyms do a lot of the same workouts. The strength room is what does separate us, but I wanted to make sure that we created a family, and that I think that connection is everything.
Your Italian roots, Anthony.
Yeah, there you go. The big Italian family, right? And I don't have the biggest family, which so now I feel like with 500 members, the online world now, and then my friends and everybody, right? It's awesome. And so another thing I want to
So
say,
you
because
feel
as you were
very connected, which gives you a
hugely
lot of
connected,
energy. Yeah.
hugely connected, and I wanted to bring up another thing because as you were talking, I'm like, well, that's why Michaela and I also connect well, even if we don't talk to each other for a year,
Yeah.
in person at least, because if you connect with people on the same wavelength, that's also important, guys. You are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with. And whether you'd like to admit it, if you're hanging out with that negative friend, that
Negative
negative,
Nelly.
oh
Negative
yeah,
Nelly.
negative Nelly, you're gonna have that in you. So I also think it's important to be wary of the people you spend the most time with, because you connect with people emotionally, spiritually, all that stuff, whether you believe in that or not. I know that some people don't, but there are connections going on, and you want to connect with people that have positive vibes. And we're not talking about hugging trees, guys. We're just talking about positivity, to keep it simple. So
I hug trees.
yeah, that's fine. I'm not saying that. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't have to do that. You can, though.
I
So,
love hugging trees.
for sure. It's nature, right?
I do. I have, something I noticed is as, especially in the last 2 years, filling up for me has been spending more time in nature. And there's so many gifts in that. And I don't know what time do you have, in?
I'm good right now. Yeah.
No, but I want to know what time. I don't even have a
Oh,
clock in
8:30.
here.
It's 8:30.
Okay, so we might get cut off. But I was gonna say, I think that, where this conversation is going, which is always where every single conversation goes with me, is both of us feel a very strong sense of connection to a higher source,
Yes.
an energy that is living and breathing, whether you call it God, whether you call it universe. But we know that it doesn't matter what we're experiencing. The rest of the world might be feeling stressed out, angry, guilty. There's this sense of peace that you have found, that I have found, that transcends all that stress that comes with
You
being
nailed it.
human, So like the up, the down, the up, the down. And I think that when you really start to connect to that higher source, that energy, that brings more gratitude, that love, that joy, that peace, you do have this sense of belonging, connection, and happiness that's unwavering, that I think a lot of people are struggling to find.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is there's people like you that can help people get there.
Yeah. But that stuff I'm still learning, to be honest, how to really spread that message out, because that's important for me. I think maybe
So
naturally.
you mean, okay, so what I want to say is you are doing that.
Oh, thank you.
But maybe what you're trying to say is finding the language.
Yeah,
Maybe you're
language would be
still
good.
exploring and finding the language, but what I'm telling you is you're already doing that. Because when you're in a state of being, when you're in a state of presence, you're already radiating that. You're already radiating all those wonderful
True.
qualities that people need, they're yearning for. And whether it's through the internet or showing up and teaching a class or helping people through nutrition or just listening. I mean, there were times you were there for me and I thought I felt such security and comfort. And that had nothing to do with the services you were providing. So I think that, there's a quality within you that just understands these things. And that's probably why you and I connected.
I was just about to say, because you have the same qualities. So we both share that. And again, I say that humbly, obviously, and I know you say that humbly, but it's something that you and I both work on. Whether it's a little bit of natural and a lot of work together, but it's been, yeah, it's great. So again, that's why we connect. So a lot of people actually said, I read a few messages before, that we have a lot of similarities, and that's why we preach a lot of the same things. That's why when you're talking and I'm talking, we're both nodding like, oh yeah, I think, so yeah.
It's beautiful. It's oneness, right? It's that theory and that truth that we all are one. We're just doing the work. We're showing up. So where can people find you? At the Fit Room?
Yes, we are at the Fit Room, guys. Obviously, temporarily closed until this gets over with, but we are in
But
Richmondville.
online?
We are online, so check out our Facebook and Instagram channels. We go online every single day. YouTube has a lot of great content as well, but definitely give us a follow, guys, and you'll learn some great stuff and you'll get some great workouts. So yeah. So
And I
Michaela, I
look
wanted to
forward to seeing more videos about mindset from you.
absolutely. And I thank you for this opportunity. It was fun to chat.
Yeah.
I'm not used to talking about myself in this, and I think that's why I kind of opened up, but I'm also very comfortable with you as well. So that works as well. So
Yeah.
it was great.
Well, I think that people connect with knowing who the other person is, not
True.
just what they do, but who they are. So
Yep.
I'm glad
Agreed.
that I gave you and our listeners the opportunity to learn a little bit more about you because there's stuff I didn't know. So thank you for sharing
Yeah.
and being
Yeah. Sorry,
open.
I think
And
I lost you there.
I'm looking forward. I'm your number one fan, so I'm looking forward to see how your business grows and how you grow as well.
Thank you.
So you see,
Thank you
everybody's
so
saying,
much,
I'm
and I
so glad
appreciate
you opened
having
up.
me there.
Of course, we'll do it again.
Yeah, there we go.